When the suggestion is when it's put forward as a suggestion that that Christians go off and consider that and I think the people that go, well, I'm not a member of a church. I have this hope that this book I haven't read is full of truths. Aside from being librarian monopolists, um, I think those ones are worse than researched. It's like who gets up each morning going, well, I'm so glad I'm a non-astrologer. Um, and if you explain that the logistics of the Christian religion and the Abrahamic monotheisms amount to pro-inbred origins, incest, brother killing his blood brother and impregnating his blood mother, or kicking back after killing his blood brother and watching and then yeah, and then Adam has more children, fueled by phobia. Then it's the tends to be the nicer of them that just go off and have a think. There'll be some that go, well, now we want to put you in a cell and give you a Bible even more. The nicer of them will go off and think. But the ones that just go, I have that hope. They obviously know certain propositions. The claim that a God exists has certain attributes that are incoherent when meted against a concept like free will, for instance. And so my perennial contention with both Gary Cairns and Roger Tall is that in speaking out against Christianity as I have, and I've spoken out against a number of religions and number of ways, but they're trying to say that being opposed to them means that you're repressed. You're probably a repressed member of the one that they like to compete against the most. You just don't have any idea. Because otherwise it complicates what they want to call pride in research. Because you have to think about steps like, well, if they do a bunch of things and then later on a psychiatrist, like let's say they fake a bunch of calls, get you police nurse detained and drugged repeatedly, and then they want you to. It's similar to the Christian process. That there's less drugs involved. There's still no apples. But then they essentially want you to confess to having certain disorders to a psychiatrist. And then they feel that obviously if that is achieved, then the work that they've done is no longer contestable fraud. Meanwhile, it's stupid. Like, it can only be blind. Well, it's worse than blind faith because they're actively practicing fraud regardless. Just the person hasn't chased them up on it. But if a person is drugged and then counseled, and then drugged and counseled, and say you have this, and then if eventually they were to, then the person vindicates their efforts. Uh, so I truly, I want to and have intended for some time now to leave. I intended to, while working for them, not only Canberra but this country, because I have to contest them because they aren't amongst the more mature of those who step back and go, well, what you've said, we'll have to think about that. Because that what they're not going to do is peg their own scientific. I mean, can you imagine someone assessing you for, we think this person is conflicted in this way, and peg your own investigative method against the claims of your own in good faith. That's what happens with these pedos, is that they say in prison, well, I just really did love those children. Well, that's what the seminal fluids seem to truly screams and seem to corroborate. And wobble boards and so what happens is, like, I'm against Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Freemasonry. If it involves belief in a supernatural God, and there's a supernatural claim made, like I was saying the other day, it's not all that impressive. It's like, well, if you spit in a wound to cure it in the Bronze Age was thought to a supernatural cure. So bleeding you with leeches sometime later on was thought like communion and therapy and medicine all mixed together. But now, if I played on words and called them both bleeding fucking leeches, then they would go, oh, surely, yeah, that's proof he must be of one of our Freemason contested religions from secret, from our reserved point of observation. In fact, if they had any decency between them, instead of oh, I've just done something pedo, let's 69 and clean each other up, Gary. Okay. Instead of that, if they had a shred of decency between them, they'd have flown me elsewhere about a decade ago. If not, pretty much after about a year of working for them. But my being here is obviously the perennial proof that they don't. And their response to that is, oh, in public, oh, we had no idea. Is that what? Huh? Well, yeah. The least polite, or those who go, will surely, like, say for instance, they would have painted a slogan while being in operative trade in Canberra's economy. saying that every single statements like that, every single person needs them. What to say? Well, despite our inability to contest what you've said with argument, we nonetheless insist there must be some way we can cater to your needs by inventing them and then catering to them. It's like having your cake and eating it too. Well, I already know that from working for you two ped faggots for fucking a decade. So, yeah. I actually wonder if Gary was the one to calm Roger down about him and his mum. Like, don't worry, Roger. I had my thoughts too. I bet everyone does. It's just faith. Like, try a leap, just leap of faith. And play a Boston record. Because their album cover art doesn't allude to any means of surveilling, does it? Yeah, like not a single Boston album cover. Show me one Boston album cover that alludes to a mode or means of surveying more than a feeling. How about this, Roger, Gary, pay my superannuation out in full to my account under the PedVid Millennials scheme, and go back and fucking dump your seed in your mum's fucking puss again, and don't forget to taste macker out at the same time too. So you can test for, of course, the saline levels in case, so you know that by backing and endorsing Fess nasal spray over alternative saline inclusive nasal sprays, that you're getting a good niche market. So one of their costing protocols seem to be if they have a sense that you have sensed what they're about, the obvious solution is, unless you limit your speech to me completely, to the job, while I wasn't given documented employment, I obviously understand that if you don't require sexual health reassignment education from either Gary or Roger, or Gary and Roger. So if you two faggots want to whinge about oh, is he spying on what we do, like, don't fucking walk around with it written across your chest or announce it, because that's one game that religious people can play, especially if you think you're brain scientists. Brain scientists create an image of dog, but you're on the devil's side. That's very clever. because the arguments for the existence of supernatural beings that don't apply to your deity, then they're exempt somehow. Oh, it's because you're a couple of fucking hiding snake fucking head faggot fucking mongers. Oh, okay. Well, you should have just talked about the tills, the floor. Why didn't you think to do that? Oh. You should have seen yesterday. I called as advised for reporting to call 131444, and I get hanged up on. And then I go back to doing my thing at my apartment, and Pigger comes to the door anyway, saying, "You gotta stop calling 000." I said to him, I called 131444. I didn't call 000. I didn't ask for a dispatch, but I got hung up on. So I think that this is why I say they should get the Bibles out of their premises, or start wearing groin leaves under their belts with their guns and shit, because they're more into touching you than they are into filing a case. I already talked about how the image of dog means that you're saying your perfect image of creation boils down to taken after honoring the proud heritage of a guy who murders his brother to impregnate his mother. So don't be coming to my door unless I say you'll send someone to the door, because I already fucking know what you fucking think your precious fucking image of dog amounts to. They need to be called dogs instead of pigs, I think, because unless they've seen Black Mirror. If they've seen Black Mirror Series 1, Episode 1, then they can earn the rank and title of a pig. But before that, they should just call them, they want to say, oh, the image of dog in a garden, kill your brother, and then go home and celebrate by boning your mum. Adam and Eve. I mean, this cop who hung up on me never said anything about sending someone to your door. So I was going, well, who disturbs my singing? Thinking, oh, look, if it isn't Ossifer Inbreeder, the fucking second. Like, look at them big biceps. Has Roger Tall been letting you secretly inject his hemorrhoids into your arm again now? Oh, mother. Yeah, Ossifer Inbreeder, he was well on the case. I think everyone who has been clubbing since last decade knows that new rules were added, so drunk and drug girls can use the men's toilets, but no vice versa. Elizabeth Braddon, she's a bit old school there. She's got a new family recipe on the way out for her, and baking her own urinal cakes. Here's one that we made earlier. Yo, here I am in the capital city of this fucking weird country I was visiting. We have Mason Street. Now, are Freemason pedophiles more fucked in the head than Catholic pedophiles? Well, they's trying to beat them at every game that they's going in uh, the process of trying to make everybody worship the image of dog, isn't it? So, Gary Cairns and Roger Tall are there like, well, anything that Rolf Harris and Pell combined and their and kids combined can do, we can do better. Now they're saying we have families too. But I mean, just do a sum total of the slogans. Uh, everybody needs the capital chemist. We know what matters. Um, so you all need them. They know all your values on your behalf, and now they have apps. And now they have families too. How many families you fucked out there, Cans? Oi, 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 oi. Shh, settle down. Settle down now. Put them on the mental health act, yo. I was going to see if there's any trace of Mason Pufter at the actual mint. See if I can get an interview for you. Oh, hello. Now, according to Roger's video profile, patient is having what delusions of well, the color yellow should well remind him of his old PBS prescription pricing guidebook. Oh. Well, what the fuck is this? Oh, we better keep on counting up indications. Oh, yes, we is well religious and misjudge art all the time. Anyway. And like someone said, stop writing on my walls at the apartment. I have no idea why I would ever do that. I must admit, I found the Lord. Now, what was that I wrote on my walls back in my apartment? Couldn't have been about anything, I suppose. Roger, there are kids here at Garima. Roger. Roger Markby, you need to watch yourself. Roger. Hello, mofos. I was here waiting for a bus that is not gonna fucking come in the time that it would take me to walk. To my destination. However, I wanted to talk today about art and Freemason pharmacists. What I do thing they honestly would have thought about to say about the Mona Lisa would be, well, she she looks like while posing for the painting that she was happily asking to be framed, and that she's hiding like all these psychoses that you can only treat with high rebate, full cost, every kind of antipsychotic injection available. And the tragedy about it, and her wanting to be, this is, I'm trying to comment on the Masonic view of the painting. That go, yeah, she well wanted to be framed. She was asking to be framed the whole time that she was been sitting for the painting. She was asking and begging to be framed. She knew it was going to wind up in a frame. She knew no one would know what to say, anything different about the end result. The coroner wouldn't be able to detect shit. And she could have every issue framed about her that the Masonic Church could think of. So that's why to this day Gary Cairns and Roger Tall tend to go home and knock one out thinking of the Mona Lisa. My informal name would be venture off and ask someone else, pet detective. There were two, I think, two parts. One for Gary, one for Roger. Venture off, ask venture offerer, pet detective.